we can attest. We are. Pablo Escobar was no Robin Hood. Pablo Escobar is an interesting character. He's a very deadly trafficker, very barbaric. Pablo was the CEO. Gustavo Gaviria had all the contacts. But anyway, Pablo Escobar, like you said, started 1-2 kilos at a time. Then before it was all over, Pablo Escobar was controlling 80% of the cocaine that was reaching the world. He scooted his way. He had you and everybody else killed. And if you, like I said, it's just a short history of Pablo Escobar, the way he attained that wealth that we...
Now, I want to ask you, we all know Pablo Escobar, the way he was portrayed by media. We read articles about him. We watched videos. I want to ask you, who was Pablo Escobar the way you discovered him and not the way he was presented to you when you started the investigation?
Yeah, the investigation started in the mid-'80s, and I think you're referring to that Robin Hood, that people say Pablo Escobar was a Robin Hood. We can attest. Pablo Escobar was no Robin Hood. Pablo Escobar is an interesting character. He's a very deadly trafficker, very barbaric. However, he grew up in humble beginnings, grew up poor, and then all of a sudden, and him and his cousin, which a lot of people don't realize, Gustavo Gaviria, was really the Pablo was the CEO. Gustavo Gaviria had all the contacts. But anyway, Pablo Escobar, like you said, started 1-2 kilos at a time. Then before it was all over, Pablo Escobar was controlling 80% of the cocaine that was reaching the world. And like I said, we can talk a lot about how he got his wealth, but in essence, we tell people that Pablo Escobar got his wealth through killing and taking over the cocaine markets in the world. He stood in his way. He had you and everybody else killed. And if you, like I said, it's just a short history of Pablo Escobar, the way he attained that wealth that we really, talk about, and we mention it in the book.